I totally screwed that up, Jensen. That's on me. I've been watching this, trying to get a feel for what's going on over there at the Open Championship. Lucas Herbert is playing the 18th hole, but I want to talk some baseball with you, and that's why we're talking Daily Diamond, my friend. So split playing right now. That's on me, operator error. But with baseball now being back in the second half of the season, Jensen, what are you going to be looking on early and often here?
Yeah. Okay. So with all of the issues here in the Midwest because of the wildfires in Canada, I'm anxious to see what happens with some of these East Coast and Midwest based games. It sounds like, Dave, from where we are here in Cleveland, the Guardians host the Pirates for a 3-game set to start tonight. Really good matchup. Jared Jones, Gavin Williams. Everything I've heard is that it's all systems go. Our air quality index here is a bit better than where it was yesterday. The Mets and the Phillies did play an hour earlier than scheduled first pitch time. They moved it up from 7:10 to 6:10 yesterday because of deteriorating conditions in the air quality yesterday. So if that's any indicator, then I think everything goes off without a hitch. That being said, we do have a day-night doubleheader in Boston between Tampa Bay and the Red Sox. They will play at 1:35 Eastern. And Dave, that one will be Griffin Jax against Jake Bennett. Really two hurlers that have been outstanding to finish the first half of the season. Anxious to watch it just because we get some day baseball, period. But as I look at it right now, I would lean the under 8.5 in that game, the way that both those guys have been at the moment. I do want to wait and see what some lineups look like, particularly for some of these starting pitching matchups. But that's my early lean there for game one of Rays and Red Sox. We do get Dodgers-Yankees at the stadium tonight, 7:05 Eastern. That is going to be Roki Sasaki against Garrett Cole. Now, traditionally, I would look at that game and say, oh, I'd love to take the Dodgers at a short road favorite price. The problem is it's Roki Sasaki. So I think I'm going to wait to see where the market kind of goes here a little bit. That is my early lean, would be the Dodgers. I'll take the better offense against what's been an inconsistent Garrett Cole. But I don't want to lock anything in yet until I kind of see where lineups are, particularly for what the Yankees would run out there. And then kind of see where the chips may fall. The only one that I would look at really right now as one that kind of jumps out to me, not only from a money line perspective, but a total. I would look at two offenses that really were great headed into the break. And let's go to Wrigley Field, where the Twins and the Cubs are going to do battle. It's a high total, Dave, of 10.5. But I really actually like both offenses to get the better of both these starting pitchers. It's going to be Bailey Ober against Colin Ray. That's an 8:05 Eastern first pitch. But I would, if there's a total that I would jump on right now, I like the over in that one. The Twins, one of the highest scoring teams in the first half, along with the offensive resurgence here of what the Chicago Cubs have done as a team. Just wanted to bring up the numbers here real quickly from an offensive standpoint. If you go back to July 1st here at the beginning of the month, and you look at the offenses in Major League Baseball, Chicago is at a 2.2 offensive wins above replacement. That's one of the best marks, only beaten by Miami, Washington, and Pittsburgh. The Minnesota Twins are 11th there since July 1st. So I like both those offenses to continue in what should be some interesting conditions. As I mentioned, with the wildfires, we know Chicago was a place that got hit really hard yesterday in the air quality index. But I would expect if this thing goes off tonight, we should see both offenses take advantage.
If I'm picking up a little bit of what you've been putting down here over the course of this week, as we've kind of really looked ahead to the second half of the season, I know Milwaukee's a massive favorite to win that division at minus 575. The Cubs at the second betting choice at plus 450. Do you see value in that number? Do you think at the end of the day that even though it looks like Milwaukee in a landslide right now, that things could tighten up towards the end of this regular season?
I need pitching to kind of come through a bit more if I'm backing Chicago. And the problem with that is they need an opportunity to kind of get healthy rather quickly. You know, and Edward Cabrera coming back from a hamstring issue. Same with Jameson Tyone. I think I would I think I would rather play a little differently here. If I think the Cubs are getting in, and the market is overwhelming that they will, you got to lay $5.25, $5.25 for the Cubs to make the postseason. I think I'd be a little more intrigued at the Cubs plus 850 to win the National League, and then I would rather take my chances on a monetization in either the wild card round or if they make it through into the divisional round. So that would be where I would go. World Series wise for the Cubs, 17-1. You know me, cross-board parlay time.
Oh, yeah.
A little Spain to win the Cup. Parlay with the Cubs to win the World Series is 29-1. Okay. I think I need to get into the 20s if I want anything to do with the Cubs right now, the way they're currently constructed.
One other series I just want to get your thoughts on, and I wonder in context of the trade deadline coming up August 3rd. Cardinals and Diamondbacks are going to begin an interesting series today. With those two teams, maybe one overachieving and one maybe kind of, I don't know, where they might think they should be in the D-backs here. Clearly, the Cardinals have overachieved from the beginning of the year. How soon will GMs, front offices say, based on what the start looks like in the second half, before we decide if we're going to add or sell at the trade deadline?
Yeah, good question. Okay, unique schedule, excuse me, for the Cardinals to start. They will begin in the West Coast, taking on not only the Diamondbacks, but they'll also play the last place Angels. They will come back home and ironically have to make up a game against the Diamondbacks. So Arizona's got to come east. They burn that off day on Thursday, the 23rd. And then the Reds are in town against the Cardinals. That's a really easy schedule for St. Louis to start the second half. They need another starting pitcher. I think just to guard against. I mean, if you're going to take St. Louis seriously, I think they need a frontline starting pitcher. Dustin May's been great. McGreevy's been awesome. Liberatore and Leahy have actually pitched really well the last 2 weeks before the end of the first half. Yeah. Boy, viability. And again, Dave, this is an exercise in if you put St. Louis, who right now, let's see, standings wise, I think they would be the second wild card behind the Cubs. They would have to play. No, they'd be on the outside looking in. My apologies. Miami is the last wild card. St. Louis is a game behind. Okay, so I would need. I would need a frontline starting pitcher. I think to take them seriously, man. I just in a wild card series, I'm saying that the Cardinals would be underdogs against all three of the current wild card teams: the Cubs, Phillies, Marlins,
even the Fish.
I don't know if I can buy stock in them. I would need to wait and see if they take care of business against this soft of a schedule to start. Then maybe they get a little more bullish and swing a little bit bigger.
I think I know your answer, Counselor, as I redirect this question to the American League side for the Orioles and Astros beginning a set today down there in H-Town. Do you think the die has already been cast there that both these teams do not have visions of wild card grandeur and say we will be selling and we've got some big assets we could sell come trade deadline time?
Yeah, listen, Baltimore is right there. You know, they're 2 back. Astros are 1.5 back. But are we really serious if we're Baltimore? I mean, they've got Houston on the road, then they got to go to Boston, then they come home against Atlanta. There's going to be a lot of calls about Taylor Ward. I think they would, if they kind of fall on themselves in these first 3 series, you got to trade Taylor Ward. I think they'll get some calls about Trevor Rogers. I mean, again, just left-handed frontline starting pitching. They certainly would be stupid if they didn't listen to that. Houston, as we talked about, looking at my bold takes earlier in the program, I think Josh Hader is going to get some run. I don't know what they do positionally. I can't see Yordan going. Christian Walker's going to get a lot of run. Right-handed power, middle of the order bat, first baseman. Christian Walker will certainly be a guy that they have to entertain. It's a big contract, but they're going to certainly have to entertain it.
All right, Joe and Jensen, we do have history here about to be made. Lucas Herbert has got about a 4-footer on the 18th hole. If he knocks this in, Jensen, I undersold it. It's not the lowest round in the history of the British Open. It would be the lowest round in the history of major championship golf. That's a PGA, that's Augusta, that's a United States Open. This would be, if he can complete it, we'll be able to tell you that on the other side. We're looking at history in a potential 61. He's currently your leader at 9 under par, and it looks like we're officially about to get history to happen on our watch, which is kind of cool. Stephen Hennessy is going to join the program from Golf Digest next. We'll talk more about what is happening right now overseas. It's getting wild at Royal Birkdale. We'll discuss with Stephen next right here on VSiN by the Books.